So we have only just started at the very start of the parade, and I can already say that this is one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Being in the middle of all of this, like the colors, the lights, it's just this on my second day in Latin America. I think I'm here in the right place. Hey everyone, I'm Tim, and I've just finished a 9-month odyssey around Latin America. Now I'm reopening my diaries, and this time I'm bringing you along with me. Week by week, country by country, all the colors, all the craziness, all the food, all the music, and all the splendor. 9 months when each morning was a new adventure. The road was my companion, and Latin America cast its spell on me. This is my Latin America Diaries. Welcome back to Latin America Diaries, and welcome back to Mexico City. Now, last week's vlog actually skipped over something quite important, because if you were following my Instagram stories last year, you might recall that on one of my very first days in Mexico City, I was actually partying on top of a bus as it drove down the center of the city. We'll get to that in a minute, but I'm going to take this opportunity to please ask you to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload my next vlog. And if you like what you're seeing, please don't forget to share my content and tell your friends about it. It would really mean a lot to me. So picture this. I arrive in Mexico City at 7 a.m. on the Saturday morning. I spend the rest of the Saturday trying to stave off jet lag. I go out for tacos with Jesus, and then I get back to the hostel, I hit the sack, and I sleep like a log. On Sunday morning, I go into the city center to meet a friend of mine, Andrea, and she tells me that she's going to take me sightseeing, and we're going to also see a parade to celebrate the Day of the Dead. Now, the Day of the Dead actually happens on the evening of the 1st of November and then continues into the 2nd of November, which is the Day of the Dead. But the parade happens in Mexico City normally on a Sunday about a week before the Day of the Dead itself. So I lucked out. I was there at the right time. I walked to the city center to meet Andrea that morning. However, despite its size, Mexico City is actually pretty easy to navigate. The Mexico City Metro works fine, the Metro bus system works as well, and Uber is a pretty popular option. Now, I normally, before visiting a place, do a bit of reading, a bit of research, but the bulk of my reading and cultural learnings and so on usually happen when I'm in the country. And this time I didn't really have that opportunity because 25 hours earlier I had arrived in Mexico City. I certainly wasn't reading or watching TV on the Saturday because I was trying not to fall asleep. So on Sunday morning, when Andrea took me in to see historical monuments, museums, and the like, I was really going in cold, and I think that that is perhaps some of the reason why I didn't appreciate Mexico City in the beginning, like a lot of people perhaps expected me to. So what followed that day was a crash course in Mexican history. I met Andrea at the intersection of the Angel of Independence, which was built to mark Mexico's independence from the Spanish Empire in 1821. Then we made our way to the Monument to the Revolution. This is a giant arch that honors the 10 years of bloody turmoil for political change between 1910 and 1920. That's right, less than 100 years after gaining independence, Mexico was being driven into the ground by its rulers, and the whole thing began to fall apart. The 10 years of chaos that followed are referred to as the Mexican Revolution, and they're usually considered nowadays to be the defining era of modern Mexican history. And I am with Andrea from Starbucks Travels.
Yeah, we are here right now in the Monumento a la Revolucion, so it's really amazing place. This is a really big city, so you need a lot of time to visit all the spots.
And she has very kindly offered to take me around Mexico City today. I am so grateful. She is an amazing guide. Do follow her on Instagram because that's how I found out about her, and she's awesome. And where are we headed after this actually?
Today he's one of the most amazing days in Mexico. We are heading for the Day of the Dead since October 27 till November 3rd, so it's a really big celebration all around the country. We're going to a parade, Catrinas parade, so just stay tuned because this is gonna get really, really amazing.
I am so excited. Let's go.
Let's go.
Downstairs from the monument, we took in the museum about the Revolution, and then we headed up to the top for a view across the city. Like I said, overwhelming for the first day, but that was just the beginning. Then we headed downstairs and we headed to Reforma, which is one of the main arteries of central Mexico City, where we met Luis, a face painter who painted our faces for the Day of the Dead parade. This was fun. We got to choose what design we wanted painted on our faces. I went for the more traditional skeleton design that you see at Day of the Dead events. Getting your face painted is not just the childish fun that you might think it is. It's actually a big part of participating in the event. You don't need to get your face painted, but a lot of people do. And, I mean, why not, when in Rome? I think I looked good. Up until this point, I thought that we might be participating in the parade from the sidelines, but then Andrea took me past the barricades and into the middle of the street, and we started walking amongst the floats and the dancers. That's when I realized that we were going to be actually in the parade.
So Andrea has basically got us into the parade, and we're on our way then out to the starting point, and apparently we're going to be on a bus and going through the streets of Mexico on this. Check this out.
I mean, I was excited, but I was a bit apprehensive as well. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Would I do the right thing? When you travel, you come across a lot of situations like this, and generally what I do is take my cues from those around me, and it seems to work out fine, so that's pretty much what I did for the next few hours. So this parade attracts people from all across Mexico City. So many different people were there. People with their families, with their pets, people who dressed up and just wanted to march alone. From where we started near Insurgentes with the face paint to where we actually boarded our bus, which would carry us along the route, we actually had to walk almost the entire length of the parade cohort. So we got to see it all as it was getting warmed up. The entire center of Mexico City had been transformed into a beautiful collision of art, faith, superstition, culture, dance, music, happiness, a tinge of melancholy, family, a cross-section of society, a strong bohemian vibe, and surrealist tendencies. There were floats for animals, people dancing to honor their families, dancers representing different cultures. Mexico City is a big international city after all. In the lead up to the Day of the Dead, there are certain days devoted to the remembrance of different loved ones. One day for pets, another day for young people who never made it to adulthood.
So the other thing that I've learned since being here actually is that although today is officially not Dia de Muertos, that's on Saturday, on the 2nd of November, but today is the day that it's believed that a lot of people, I've got glitter raining down on me, today is the day that many people believe that the pets that people have lost over the course of history, the pets come back to visit them. So that explains all of the dogs and the cats and the imagery and everything in the parade at the moment.
There was traditional music. I recommend checking out La Llorona, which is a classic which has been covered by many artists over the years. I heard Michael Jackson's Thriller more than once. It's sort of a combination of traditional remembrance, but also a bit of the fun of Halloween too, where in many countries and cultures, the two, local tradition and global modernity, would be seen as competing elements. Mexico City really seemed to balance and meld them together, the global modernity enhancing, or at least complementing, the local tradition. However, this does come with one big caveat, and that is that I'm going off appearances only. I'm not Mexican, and I know that in recent years there has been controversy about the influence of foreigners on Mexico and on Mexican culture. So if my reading of this is completely wrong, feel free to go off at me in the comments below, but please be nice. And if you're wondering about how all of this works, death, remembrance, and partying, make sure that you tune in next time, because I will be in the state of Michoacan and I'll be talking about the Day of the Dead, its significance to Mexican people, and the meaning behind many of the rituals. So we got up on top of the Capital Bus, which by the way is a great way to see Mexico City if you're there.
We are at the bus. This is the bus that we're getting on. And look who it is.
Hello, we're just getting ready for this.
We are so ready for this, and we are basically going to be part of the parade. We are representing.
We're inside the parade.
We are inside the parade. This is incredible.
Yes,
I have you to thank for this, because honestly, without you, if you are coming to Mexico City, she is the lady to tell you what to do and where to go, because she knows what's on. So amazing. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks for coming.
We haven't even started the parade yet, and this has been one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
And we navigated the streets of Mexico City. As the light faded, we crawled past crowds of people who had come out to see, well, us.
Okay, so we have only just started at the very head of the parade, basically. Insanity. I honestly could not have imagined, even in my wildest dreams, that my first day in Latin America would have looked like this. I sort of felt like a celebrity for a few hours. I was walking on air. We danced to songs I knew. We danced to songs I didn't. I met other influencers on top of the bus, and we waved to the crowds all the way along. Of course, I know that I wasn't the star of the show here. I mean, I wasn't even originally meant to be part of it. But in the back of my mind, I did have this niggling thought that was, this is kind of my welcome to Latin America. I haven't said it until now because I didn't want to, and I still don't want to center myself in this. But in amidst the chaos and the celebration, there it was, my first day in Latin America. It was epic, and I had arrived. And what a way to see Mexico City as well. I mean, I was seeing monuments and buildings for the first time. Although my real introduction to Mexico City came with Seoul's Diversity Tours a couple of days later. At that point, I had already done this parade, so the first time that I laid my eyes on many of the buildings, for example, the Palacio de Bellas Artes, it was from the top of the bus in the middle of the parade. Once the parade was over, we got off the bus and made our way over towards a restaurant for dinner, making our way through a park where people were, well, you know, just dancing in the park. And this is where I am going to bring in Andrea because I spoke to her just a few days ago for this vlog.
It has been way too long and it is so good to see you again, and I can't believe that you even have the headdress that you were wearing last year at the Day of the Dead.
Yeah, it was amazing and we have like a really nice time. I know you're gonna talk about that part of the year, so we are already almost in October again. So we are just getting really closer to the Day of the Dead celebration, October, November. So we're just some days from the celebration.
I can't believe it. It's just like, I can't believe it's been a year. I actually can't. And
it's been too fast already.
It has. And actually, for everyone watching this, one thing that you should know is that actually, although this is my second vlog from Mexico City or about Mexico City, the content of this vlog, most of it, like the parade on the Day of the Dead, actually happened on my second day in Mexico City. And really, I mean, I arrived on the Saturday, and then it was so that day I was like written off with jet lag, and it was the Sunday that you took me out and we went around the city. So you took me on a tour, a short tour of the city, because we had an appointment to go and be on a parade, like on a bus in the parade.
Yeah, it was amazing because when you arrive to Mexico, I have a collaboration with a specific enterprise called Capital Bus. So we're just going to join the Catrinas aisle, the Desfile de Catrinas, on the exact day of the desfile. So it was really amazing because you came into Mexico and then the same day, like 2 days after that, was going to have the parade and everything. So you were able to join the specific and the most amazing celebration in the exact day. So you cannot get any perfect timing that the timing you have.
And it was like, honestly, I mean, some people they arrive in because it wasn't just the first day in Mexico, it was my first day in Latin America. And
Yeah.
some people they have an amazing experience. I was on top of a bus in the center of Mexico City on my first day in Latin America.
You were
Like
the VIP guest for the
it was
celebration.
insane. And the thing is, you told me originally, you were like, we are going to be in a parade. And I was sort of like, oh, okay, what? Like, we're going to be, attending the parade or something. No, no. When we got there, we actually like went through the barriers and up on top of a bus. I didn't realize that until I think maybe 30 minutes before, where you were like, how do we get around to the entry? And I was like, hang on, are we going to be actually like in
Inside the
there?
parade, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thank you forever, like eternally grateful for making that happen because
Because we were the VIP
we were the
guest for
VIPs
the
and the
parade.
experience was like, in some ways, like that was, well, I mean, no doubt it was my highlight of my time in Mexico City. And that really set the tone for the entire trip. Like, my feet did not touch the ground until I arrived in Australia, like almost a year later. That was like,
No, it was amazing.
yeah,
No, and like we have been talking in Instagram for a long, I think like a year or so. So we're
yeah,
just talking like you were coming to Mexico. It was really amazing. Because right now you're in Australia, but when we start talking, you talked me about the book you were writing for Pakistan. So you were living in Pakistan. So it was amazing just to meet you in Mexico. And for one of the most amazing celebrations in Mexico, which is the Day of the Dead, it's our most beautiful, colorful. It's celebrated in the whole country. So it's really, really, you came just in the perfect timing for visiting Mexico.
I couldn't have planned it better, and I am so fortunate to have a friend like you as well. I mean, like you said, we've been in touch for so long, and when I see what you do, the collaborations you do, and the people that you meet and everything, you really make Mexico City, and well, Mexico generally, but especially Mexico City, it really piqued my interest in that. And yeah, I mean, when we met face to face, it was just like, I know you. It was like meeting an old friend.
Yeah, definitely. Because the conversation just flowed like so nice. Like we have been talking for years already. So I
Exactly.
love that also. We have a really amazing time.
Likewise. And tell me about, I mean, for the Day of the Dead, what do you normally do? Like, do you normally attend that parade in the center of Mexico City?
Well, we have like a lot of celebrations in Mexico City. One of the most important, which has been celebrated for almost some years already, is the Desfile de Catrinas. So the Catrinas parade is celebrated in a specific date before, it's like 1 week before the official Day of the Dead celebration. So then you have the Catrinas parade in some, like a week before October 26, 27. And after the Catrinas parade, then is the official Day of the Dead celebration. The most important days for the Day of the Dead celebration, it's like around the 1st of November and the 2nd of November, which is the Alumbrada night, is like the most important. But of course, we start celebrating since October 28, 27, 28, 27. But the most important days are the first one and the second one, which are like the day we put all the lights and you go to the cemeteries and then you celebrate with your people. But also we have after October 1 or 2nd, which is October 3rd or something, then we have the parade of the Day of the Dead. So we have two parades in around this
Oh,
timing. And of course, there's like a lot of meetings and Katrina photographs, and there's a lot of people having like photos, and there's a lot of things going around the Day of the Dead celebration. You started in the Pan of the Muerto, which is like really, really an important food like that is for this celebration. So we start celebrating from the 15th of October till the end of October 3 or 4th of November. So it's a really, really big celebration, and it's celebrating the whole country. So you can go wherever you want in Mexico, and everyone will be celebrating this big celebration. Especially, I think one of the most amazing places to be for the Death of the Dead, Day of the Dead celebration. It's especially Mexico City, Mixquic. It can be also Michoacan and Oaxaca are like the best places to celebrate this amazing celebration in Mexico.
and look, honestly, I feel like I didn't realize that there was another parade afterwards. But I feel like I really got the best of both worlds because I was in Mexico City for the parade on it would have been the 27th of October. And
Yeah.
then a couple of days later, I went to, or maybe it was no, it would have been the 27th, I'm sure, maybe 28th, whatever it was, like it was it was
It's
early.
like the last weeks of October mostly.
Yeah, and then I went to Morelia in Michoacan and then Pátzcuaro for the Day of the
Ah, it's
Dead,
beautiful.
but like
Yeah.
the actual night of the Day of the Dead. And that, I mean, I feel like I got the best of both worlds. I got like the urban celebration, which, was like a party, and then I got the more traditional night in the cemeteries in
No, and you
one
were
of,
in one of the most beautiful places to have the celebration, which is Michoacan and Oaxaca. And also, like this year, the Catrinas parade is going to be celebrated on October the 26th. So it's always like 1 or 2 weeks from now, and we start celebrating like the big celebration.
amazing.
A lot of things happening these last 2 weeks of October. So there's a lot of expositions, photograph, I don't know, like a lot of food, also like a lot of tradition, and everyone is just celebrating and putting also the altars in their homes, in their cemeteries. It's a really, really beautiful celebration. For me, it's the most expected part of the year, the most expected celebration in Mexico City after our Independence Day. For me, is the Day of the Dead celebration. Is one of the most beautiful celebrations in Mexico.
And actually, I had Habibi Usman on last week, and actually, I was having a bit
Oh
of a
yeah,
chat with him because we were talking about, like in that vlog, we were talking a bit about like the center of Mexico City and the Zocalo, and he was
and the
telling me
beautiful
about how,
terraces we have also in Mexico City. You have a lot of
yeah,
terraces with a nice view from the city, which is just amazing. Like the one we were just visiting, the three of us, it was just beautiful.
that was wonderful actually. And that, I mean, we sort of, I showed a few of those pictures and videos in last week's vlog, but I mean, that was your choice actually to go there. So thank you so much for that. That was like, when I think about it symbolically, like the perfect way to finish my time in Mexico City, because like we were up there looking at the whole city, the sun was going down, it was the end of my
Yeah,
time there.
that sunset was just beautiful. I
It
love
was
that spot because
excellent.
you can get the most beautiful sunsets in that terrace, in that rooftop. It's just amazing.
It really is, no, like no doubt. So I'm just looking at my notes here. I wanted to ask, you touched on just before about pan de muertos, which is the bread which is made around this time. What is it? Because like for me, honestly, pan de muertos was just like I loved it. That, I mean, favorite thing from Mexico.
Well, the pan de muerto is represented as a bread, but it represents like the bones, of the body. Like you have the pan de muerto represents the bones that it's put it like in the ofrenda, because since we are celebrating the Day of the Dead, it's a way of representing like the body of the people that is not longer with us. So there's still like a kind of a list you need, like a checklist you need to do if you want to put, for example, an altar in your home for the people that has already gone. So then you can have your altar for the people that has already passed away. So then you have your altar, and you need to put like some specific list of things that needs to be in the altar, so you can be considered like a really traditional Day of the Dead altar. So there's a list of things you need to have in the altar, and one of the most special and important things in the altar is, of course, pan de muerto. You need to have water. You need to have these beautiful flowers, the flor de cempasúchil, which is really endemic from here, from Mexico in specific, and it's really a really colorful flower that just makes the altar look so beautiful and so colorful. But you need to check like specific things that need to be in the altar so that it can be considered like a really traditional altar for the celebration.
Interesting. I mean, I did see altars everywhere, and like anyone watching my previous like last week's vlog and this vlog as well, you will get the sense that if you're walking through Mexico City any time of year, like so anywhere you go at that time of year, there are altars everywhere. Like I walked into my hostel and there was an altar just sitting there. Like it's everywhere. It's like a Christmas tree, right? It's like it's
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
like
Yeah.
Christmas, as you say, because here is like everyone in all the stores, in the hostels, in the hotels, like everyone has its own altar. Supposedly, the altar you need to choose. For example, if you don't want to make it of your family or something, you can choose, for example, a famous actress or something that has passed away, and then you can put the altar to these amazing famous people that is just passed away already, and then you can do the altar for those specific persons. And it's amazing because the hotels, the stores, and all the city just dresses up with the Day of the Dead celebration. So you can see altars everywhere in the street. Also, there's gonna be a lot of altars. There's gonna be a lot of I don't know, like it's just like a big party, and it starts the last 2 weeks of October, and you can find like a lot of things happening at the same time in the same place. So
And I mean, you told me that you mentioned it before as well, but I remember you saying at the time that the Procession de las Catrinas is
Mhm.
not super traditional in Mexico City.
Not super traditional.
As
Well,
in, like
it's traditional,
the
but it's
styling is
like,
traditional, but yeah, like the actual history of that procession is different. Like,
well, not the Catrinas parade, but the desfile of Dia de Muertos. The way we just know it, like right now,
hmm,
it has to be a lot of that with with the Day of the Dead movie, Coco, that happens like in the movie.
yeah,
So we did have like a parade for the Day of the Dead, but
hmm.
of course, all the things that were used to make the movie, they are now the ones that are just putting them in the parade. So of course, this parade doesn't have like that many years because it has the years of the movie,
That's
but
what I was
it's
going to ask about. Like,
right
yeah.
now it's like really really famous, but because of the movie and because now we have all the things that were used to get to film the movie, and then those things that were used to film the movie are the things that are just right now like going on in the streets with the parade. So that's why it just became like that famous, because we did have a parade, but it was not that colorful with all the things that have to be that happen in the movie, and now we have all those things just happening in the streets.
And that's one of the things that I really loved about Mexico was that, like, people, I feel like anywhere else, if they did that, or a lot of other places, it would be really cringe. Like, it would be really like, now we're doing this parade, but it's just for the movie. Whereas I feel like in Mexico, it was like, this is part of our culture. And although that was from the movie, sure, bring it in. Like, the whole thing can be fun. It doesn't need to be like people are, at least the impression I got was that a lot of people are not sort of too cool for it because it's from the movie. Like, it was just
You
make
know
it part of the
something?
parade.
Now
Yeah,
that you're saying something about that, it's really interesting because, you know, like normally when the states film a movie or something, they normally don't stick to the specific history or something. Sometimes they
sure.
change the story.
Mm.
But something that we did like as Mexicans, and of course because of the movie was directed with some Mexican people that really get into involved and get to study all the traditions, the traditional traditions from Michoacan, from Oaxaca. They spend a lot of time and a lot of months studying the all the traditions so that they really make the movie in a traditional way, you know, because most of the times they change the history or they change part of the story. But something that we love from Coco movie is that they really represent the most significant like objects, the most significant traditions, the most significant things that happen in the Day of the Dead, and the movie has like all of them together and all colorful, and they do explain like the celebration, because you know many people think, oh, Day of the Dead, oh, they celebrate that. It's not. No, it has a really much more deeper significance than just like celebrating that, because people think of Day of the Dead before the movie and they think, oh yeah, Aztecs and Mayas, so they celebrate death. It's like, no, it's a much more deeper celebration, because it's not that we celebrate that. It's like, okay, the people that just were passed away some years ago, they are coming to celebrate life with us just in those specific days, which is between the 1st of November and the 2nd of November, which are the most important days of the celebration. And it's amazing because for us it's like our people coming back to celebrate with us the big celebration. So we are not celebrating the dead. Indeed, in the dead of the day celebration, we are celebrating life. So it's kind of a tricky thing, but that's the thing that makes it amazing, you know, like we are not celebrating death, we were celebrating life with the people that passed away and come to celebrate life with us in those specific times. And not only the people, you know, like your I don't know, your dog, your cat, there's like everyone is coming for that specific celebration, so it's just beautiful.
Well, that's what I was thinking actually, is that the hostel that I was staying in, they had their like a picture of a dog set up on the altar as well, and I
Yeah.
can see is that your dog behind you there?
Yeah, it's
What's
yeah,
his
that's
name?
my dog. He wanted to also get
No, well,
into
he's a
the celebration.
star, of course. Yeah. What's his name?
Kala.
Kala. Oh, hello, Kala. You
It's
beautiful
an
boy.
Indian name, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. I wanted to also ask you that after we were in that parade, and if you recall, we had a couple of people that we sort of kept bumping into throughout that day. And
Yeah.
then we all ended up at the same restaurant for dinner. What was that restaurant? Do you remember where we went?
The restaurant. Remember me a little bit more because it was a year ago and I have like a
Yeah,
lot
of
of things
course.
going on in my
Yeah,
head.
no, of course. I remember that it was like it's a chain restaurant of traditional Mexican food, and I had pozole there,
Oh
and
yeah, well, it's a tradition. It's a very traditional restaurant in Mexico called Casa de Toño. It
that's
has like a
right.
lot of restaurants already, like all around the city, in the north, in the south, and in the center of the city. So you can try like the most Mexican things, like pozole, quesadillas, tacos, like all the Mexican diet. You can try it in that specific place without needing to move from one place to another. So it's very famous because you can really have the pozole all time of the year, because normally pozole is only prepared for September 15 and 16, which is the Independence Day celebration.
Oh, I
But
didn't
thanks
know
to Casa
that.
de Toño, you can have pozole all the year, all time, since January till December, and you can try pozole like all the time, not only on September. So that's something amazing because you can really try a dish that normally would be in a specific time of the year, but you can have it like all year long. So
I'm starting to think actually that I experienced a lot of things on my trip, and I was lucky to have, like, so for example, I didn't know that Pozzola was only, well, like mostly associated with Independence Day. And then for me, like going to Casa de Toño, I was just like, oh, great, I get to try Pozzola in Mexico, which is, amazing. But now I'm
mhm.
like, actually, I mean, not lucky to taste it because, like you say, it's available all year round at Casa de Toño, but
Yeah.
lucky that you took me there. So, I mean, and there's a couple of things like that in my trip, like, for example, that I was in Mexico City. I thought I'd be in Mexico City for a couple of days, just sort of find my feet and then go to Michoacan.
Well,
But
no, you
in,
arrive and you just get into a parade just right away.
but like how incredible! That was so not planned. It was just sort
Yeah.
of like, oh, I'm going to get to Mexico City, have a few days, get over the jet lag, and then move. And then it was like, actually, I'm here for this massive event. So I
And
really
inside
lucked
of the
out.
parade, yeah, it was amazing.
It was awesome. And tell me about Coyoacan because I mean I loved it there, and that was also the favorite part of Mexico City of my Spanish teacher, Hector.
Ah, that
And
you told me, yeah.
yeah, like what I mean, so I thought that Coyoacan was pretty cool, but like how would you describe Coyoacan?
For me, Coyoacán is one of the most beautiful, I will call it barrios de la Ciudad de
Like
Mexico.
a quarter, I guess. Yeah.
I just love it because, I think Coyoacán is one of the parts of Mexico City which conserves its really like the traditional style, the traditional architecture, traditions. Like Coyoacán, it has its own soul. Coyoacán has soul. That's I. If you would like, if I would like to describe Coyoacán in a phrase or something, for me, Coyoacán has its own soul. It's like you are in Coyoacán and Coyoacán is magic. Everywhere you look around, it's filled with traditions, architecture, places, a lot of art. There's a lot of art. There's a lot of places. There's a lot of food from different parts of Mexico, from different parts of the world. So for me, Coyoacan has everything. It's a really, really
There you go.
amazing place to be in Mexico City.
And that was where you got me to taste the churros rellenos.
Oh yeah, Coyoacan is
Oh
really
my
famous
God.
because of the churros rellenos. That's true.
They were like
Also, if you want to
literally
try,
like
for
that was I mean
example,
if you this was another thing if you're going to Mexico City make sure that you get the churros rellenos which are basically
oh
like
yes,
stuffed churros.
from Coyoacan, because those are the original churros rellenos.
Ah, they are so good. I really should have like a food like travel blog rather than just general travel
I
food because I
know.
love food so much.
Me too. Me too, me too. No, and Coyoacan, I love the Coyoacan because you can find like a lot of different types of food. There's a restaurant called Corazón de Maguey, which is really famous in Coyoacan because it has food from Oaxaca. So you can try, for example, queso fundido con chapulines, also like really specific dishes from Oaxaca. So if you are not able to travel to Oaxaca, you can go to Coyoacan to this specific restaurant and try trayudas and like really specific plates originally from Oaxaca. And of course, you enter the restaurant, and the restaurant has like a really beautiful and amazing, it's like all the images and everything is really, really beautiful. That restaurant, and also there's another one called Los Danzantes, also is in Coyoacan. Those two restaurants for me are one of the most beautiful and best restaurants in Coyoacan, and also one of the most ancient. Like they have been there for years and years and years, so they're really, really famous in Coyoacan.
It's interesting because actually in my previous vlog where where I introduced everyone to my first time, time in Latin America, first days in Latin America in Mexico City, I was saying that I wasn't sure what to expect about from Mexico City, and that I was a bit sort of lost in a way, because I think in my mind the iconic things about Mexico are not in Mexico City. The most iconic things like the jungles and the pyramids, well, there's a pyramid there, but I didn't visit it, and the Caribbean and this kind of thing. A lot of that's out of Mexico City, but it's interesting because now that you mention that, actually, you've jogged my memory and reminded me about some of those restaurants in Coyoacan. And when we were walking around, you were like pointing at them and being like, that's amazing for, the food from Oaxaca, and this is amazing for this thing. And at the time, I was just kind of like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. Having now been to Oaxaca, I think if I was to go back there, that would mean so much more.
Of
And I
course.
think that actually maybe you've sort of like the pennies dropped, is that maybe the reason why I felt a bit lost in Mexico City to begin with was because I was, I guess, seeing like a sample of a country that I hadn't yet experienced properly.
No,
So,
truly. And something for me, one of the best gastronomies is one is Oaxaca, the other one I think is Guadalajara and Puebla. For me, are one of the most amazing gastronomies. Oaxaca has a lot of has a lot of history, has a lot of culture, has a lot of things, and most of it, the food in Oaxaca. Well, I think you have been to. I don't know if you've been to Oaxaca, but the food in Oaxaca is just, it's amazing. The
I
mole,
did.
the tlayudas,
Yeah.
everything is in Oaxaca. Everything is art. I can say like Coyoacan has its own soul in Mexico City. For me, Oaxaca would be like an art. You can look at art in all the streets. Like there's a lot of murals, there's a lot of art just everywhere, every corner, every step you take, it's art all around. So Oaxaca is just amazing. I love Oaxaca.
It's true. And actually, I did visit Oaxaca, and and I tasted the food there, and that was incredible. And I think that's coming up next week, actually, on the Latin America Diaries.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's interesting because I think Mexico City is really a city that it didn't wow me that much at first, but after seeing the rest of Mexico, Mexico City makes perfect sense now.
No, and I love
Yeah,
Mexico City because if you are not able to travel, for example, to Oaxaca or to some other states, it's like you really can have a small piece of each state in Mexico City. Like you
exactly.
can find restaurants of Guerrero food, you can find restaurants of Oaxaca food. Also, you can buy things from the different states. For example, this blouse I'm wearing, it's textiles from Oaxaca, because I love all the textiles and all the blouses and everything handmade. So this one is specific from Oaxaca, but you can also buy things from Oaxaca in Mercado de la Ciudadela, which is located in Mexico City. And it's a really famous market because you can find things from all around the states, specifically in artisans. So you can find like a lot of artesanías mexicanas located in Mexico City. If you are not able to travel, for example, to the rest of the other states, you can really find everything in Mexico City if you don't have time to travel to the other states. So it's like having a small piece of everything in the same place.
Exactly. And I think I agree with you that that's one of the best things about Mexico City, at least in my view. And that's something that, like, having not traveled around Mexico and not really sure what to expect, I didn't
Yeah.
really get that at the time, and now I do. Yeah, now I sort of feel a bit like I missed it. I need to go back and really experience it again. What are your plans for this year? Are you planning to go to the parade again?
Well, this year it's a really, really big surprise. I'm really,
Okay.
really happy, really amazed because I was planning this travel of the year for almost 3 or 4 years. I really wanted to celebrate the Day of the Dead in a really beautiful and amazing place in Mexico to celebrate the Day of the Dead. And finally, after years of deciding that I wanted to do this traveling, I will be celebrating the Day of the Dead celebration. I think I will just give it like a surprise. I won't say it right now
Okay.
still because we're still some days away from the celebration. But you can follow Tim and also you can follow my channel. I will be posting everything from that specific place because I want to document like everything, the culture, the traditions. It's a really beautiful place. It's between Michoacan and Oaxaca. I won't say you exactly which of those states is the one that I'm going to be visiting, but I will be posting everything because I really want to document everything, like the traditions, everything they do for the celebration. I'll be spending like a week or so in that state celebrating. So this time of the year is the first time in a long time that I won't be celebrating the Day of the Dead in Mexico City. I will just be traveling for those specific days.
That's incredible. I can't wait to hear about it. And actually, by the time that you see this, I'm speaking to the audience out there. By the time you see this, this will have already happened because this vlog is going live on the 31st of October, if I'm not mistaken. So Andrea will have already revealed her surprise. I can say the state
then, and they will know exactly.
Exactly. So, but yeah, please, I'm gonna put Andrea's like handle in the video description, and it's also on the screen right now. Please go
just stay tuned. It would be between Michoacan and Oaxaca. I won't say you which of those states, but any of those states is one of the most beautiful places for celebrating the Day of the Dead celebration. So just stay tuned.
I can't wait. Now I'm like, where's the map? I need to know. It's like, that's exciting.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited because I have been planning years. Like I want to go to that place to celebrate. So I'm just really happy for the traveling.
I cannot wait to see your pictures and videos of that and your stories of that. Andrea, thank you so much for joining me here. And honestly, we need to do this again. I need to come back to Mexico City, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next time, if we'll be up on top of a bus or if we'll be heading out into the countryside, but we need to do Dia de Muertos again in Mexico together because, like, I can't tell you how incredible that was to have that as my entry to Latin America. So thank you so much. That was just amazing. And thank you for joining us here, and all the best. And I can't wait to see what you're doing for the Day of the Dead.
Thanks a lot for the time, for the space, for this interview. You know, I love you so much. I love your channel. Yeah, I love your traveling, all the countries you visited in LATAM and all the time you travel. So I will just also be waiting for all the content that you need to be posting like this month right now for all the traveling, because of course, when you are traveling sometimes, well, not sometimes, it's very difficult to be posting and traveling at the same time. It's very, very difficult because sometimes the internet is not working correctly. So there's a lot of things that happen. But thanks a lot for the space. You know, I love you so much. I'm really, really happy for this interview. I hope many more people come to visit Mexico. I think after the movie, Mexico just became like a really amazing country all around the world. It's already been a very nice country, but please come and visit Mexico. It's not the same as I tell you how is Mexico as you live in the real thing in the country. So thanks for the space. I'm Andrea Carballido from Carvax Travel. Thanks a lot to Tim for the space in the vlog. And of course, we're going to have a lot of travels. Maybe now you can come in September that we have our Independence Day celebration, which is also one of I call it the big fiesta from Mexico. So it's also one of the best times to be in Mexico.
Maybe you need to plan a trip from like September to October and take in both dates. So, so look, honestly, I second all of that. Mexico is, you know, of all the countries that I visited, Mexico is the one that I need to go back, I think, and spend a lot more time exploring. So
yes,
thank you so much. Same right back to you. And Andrea, I will be seeing you around. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye.
Andrea is your key to some really, really great content about Mexico. Make sure that you visit her Instagram. I've put the link in the video description below. And like I mentioned, my next vlog is coming to you from Michoacan State, where I attended one of the most vivid celebrations of the Day of the Dead in all of Mexico. That vlog is coming to you this Sunday, just 2 days from now, to coincide with the Day of the Dead. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel because this is one very special vlog that you do not want to miss out on.